Yo, what's going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today, we're looking at the next 7 gods that Smite has just shown us on the roadmap. Kilgoon and the Titan Talk brought these up, shows a little bit of their art. So if you guys are interested in their art, you know, how they came about with some ideas with this stuff, how they're changing it for Smite 2, go watch the Titan Talk from Friday. He goes through all of the decisions with that. And Ben, one of their, I think, art directors, was also there answering questions. So if you're very curious about the intricacies of the art and changes in that regard, the Titan Talk on Friday. However, I just want to talk about the decisions with these characters and what I expect with them and changes that I should expect with them. And here is the roadmap. And this new god is the H god that they teased a while ago. Very cool. Princess Bari, very cool. Both of them are awesome. I'm excited for both of them. And this is following up after we had Artemis. So we had a Hunter, and then we have a Willix coming today. Actually, I think she should already be out unless there's an issue. Willix is coming out today. Next week is Bari. And then after Bari, they're shifting to an every other week new god format. So as you see, Bari's the 10th, Merlin's the 24th, 7th for Cerb, 21st, 1st, or 5th, 9th, and then June 2nd, which is actually, this is supposed to be May 19th. That's what I was going to say. This is supposed to be May 19th for Apollo. What do I expect from each of these characters? So Princess Bari, the ambassadors have been able to see her. She is very exciting, very cool. She is a god that there is a lot of playmaking with this character, and I'm not going to say anything else. She's a very cool character. I'm very excited to see her. I'm not going to talk too much about her because I'm really bad at like not saying stuff. So Bari's coming the 10th. Merlin, though, when they talked about Merlin, they said Merlin's not having a ton of changes coming his way. They like how he operates. They think in Smite 1, Merlin was nearly a perfect character. When they bring him over to Smite 2, they're not planning on changing much. So Merlin is also another character where you're just probably going to see small +1s, maybe even pretty negligible +1s, because he is a pretty clean character in Smite 2 or Smite 1. He played very well. There's not a ton of things you can add to his kit without breaking him. So I like that they're kind of not doing too much to Merlin. But Cerberus is something I want to talk about because I have not been a Cerberus fan for a long time, and it's for a couple reasons, but the main reason is I just do not like his passive and how it operates. I do not like a character who anti-heals, 1, with just standing around, and 2, heals off of the anti-heal. I think there should be something edited somewhere to make Cerberus less frustrating. Maybe it's like it only is off of his 2, where his 2 is actually anti-heal, but he heals off of his 2. Or like if you try to heal off of his 2, and as long as your protections are shredded, you're losing anti-heal. Something like that, if they want to keep that anti-heal and then Cerberus heals passive. If they want to keep that, awesome. If they want to keep it just super wide open-ended, where it's just if you're around him, he's anti-healing you. He should not heal off of that anti-heal, I guess is the best way to say it. I think it's just way too AFK. It makes him become a god where you have to buy anti-heal to anti-heal him, even though his healing is pretty negligible just in his kit. It's just not a fun thing to play around with, and I hope that they change something with his passive. I think he would be a really fun character if it wasn't for his passive. I think his 1, 2, 3 is awesome. I think his ultimate has a lot of outplay potential, and then also the ult 1 combo. I think that's really cool. I've just never been a fan of his passive, so I want to see them do something with that. Now on to Kali. Kali was Lermy's last character that she worked on before she was let go. They are planning on reworking her a tiny bit. That's what Kilgoon said. There's going to be a little bit of reworking around with the character. I know kind of what it entails, but I'm interested to see how they go about with a character like Kali, where her ultimate you can't really change unless you're just making a brand new character, and they've already stated that they don't really like doing reworks. So the ultimate is probably going to be staying the same. I would assume that she's going to have some sort of movement. So you have to assume that like the 1 ult is staying the same. That means the 2, 3 is where you can kind of make changes. With the reduction of CC, there could be a way that they maybe get rid of the stun on the 3, or they do something else in that regard. Maybe they make her like a stronger duelist or a stronger team fighter, and they take away some of her CC with her 3. I just hope that they make Kali a late game hyper carry with a weaker early game. One of the few things I didn't like in Smite 1 was towards the end of it, and actually even towards like Season 10, Season 9, they started to make late game characters weaker late game for a better early game. And gods like Scylla, gods like Kali, gods like Kronos became pretty good early game characters, and they could actually like farm really well. And then their late games just became worse, and they just became like the exact same character like everyone else, where good early game, good mid game, good late game. It's boring. I like having late game carries. I like having gods where you have to kind of expect something from them. I like having gods that are dominant early game, mediocre mid game unless they have a massive lead, and then bad late game unless they have a massive lead. I think that is good for the game. There's good to have these different paths of how characters play. So I hope that they keep Kali as this late game hyper carry. If she gets there, you're gonna have to, you know, plan your entire comp or your team fight around her. And in the early game, you can kind of stomp her. I hope that that's what they kind of go back to, and I hope that's what they do with Kali. Guan Yu, I don't really know entirely what you can do with Guan Yu. I think he's already kind of set. You can't really make changes to a character as iconic as Guan Yu. I hope that they just make him a little bit more exciting. He's kind of a boring character, kind of a nice team fight character with just kind of boring everywhere else. I think the real place that they can kind of get creative is in the aspect. Either shift his main kit to being a little bit more solo oriented and then have his aspect be support oriented, or flip it and have his normal kit be support, his aspect make him more solo oriented, because he's kind of this mix and match of both, which is fine. I don't mind that, but he's kind of just bad at both of them. He has times where he comes out and he's really insane. And actually, I think right now, if he dropped right now with the penetration changes, I think he'd be phenomenal. But I hope that they kind of do a little something. Again, you can't do a ton of exciting things to Guan, but I hope that they are creative in the ideas that they do with him. And then lastly, Apollo. It's just another hunter. We're getting a ton of hunters. Artemis 2 weeks ago, Bari's a hunter, and now Apollo's a hunter. So we're getting actually 3 hunters in the last, what, 9 gods? 8 gods? Yeah, I get 3 hunters, 1 assassin, 1 warrior, 1 guardian, 1 mage, 1 warrior. Yeah, they don't use classes in you. I don't care. I'll use classes as long as I want to use classes. What can you really do with Apollo? I mean, his ultimate, I think the ultimate is where you really could make a lot of changes with Apollo. I hate that the best part about Apollo is that he is a split pusher almost. And then when you ult in, you don't really want to ult in to a team fight because you'll just get blown up. I think they should try to either allow him to go into a fight with his ultimate and do damage, and maybe make it less rewarding as a split pusher, but I don't really know how you do that. I'm not the creative guy. I'm just giving my thoughts. And then lastly, H-God on June 2nd. By fucking golly, I'm excited for him. I don't know if they've announced who's working on it. Hopefully I'm not spoiling anything. That's Clumsy's God. So we have an aggro god and we have a clumsy god. And I'm so excited for both of them. Aggro really did a lot on Bari. He did just about everything. Unfortunately, he was let go just like the 3 weeks ago, and he wasn't able to kind of see the entire process through. But I know he's very passionate about this character, and he's very excited to see what people think about her. I assume either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday in one of these Titan Talks, they go through a Princess Bari showcase and showing her. So that's going to get me excited that we get to finally see entirely what they finished off with, because I saw a really old idea behind Bari. I haven't seen her updated kit. So I'm very, very excited. And she is a character you'll have to see to believe. That's the best way to put it. You'll have to see her to believe her. She's a very interesting introduction to Korean mythology. I'm very excited to see what they finished off with Princess Bari. And lastly, H-God, super excited. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the upcoming gods. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited also. Smite 2 is feeling very, very fun. I hope you guys have been enjoying your time on it. The ranked has been treating me a little unfairly recently, but I'm still enjoying it nonetheless. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have understood. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.